And welcome back. This is Weekend Prime. Now, faith-based hospitals have given the government a 14-day ultimatum to settle an outstanding 10 billion shillings debt or risk having patients pay cash for medical services. Now, the healthcare institutions say the failure to clear these dues has left them financially strained, pushing them to a breaking point. Now, in studio with me is Dr. Samuel Mwenda, the General Secretary, Christian Health Association of Kenya, to just make us understand what these institutions are going through. Thank you for joining us on the set, Dr. Now, as we talk about matters to do with SHA and the ultimatum that is in there, just paint a picture of what faith-based hospitals are going through so that we understand.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and share our situation. The faith-based hospitals and other health facilities constitutes a very large proportion of the health services provided in this country, and they have done it over many years, some in over 100 years. And our commitment is to provide quality services to all, irrespective of their situation, and that is facilitated by having schemes like NHIF or social health authorities, so that people don't pay at the point of receiving the services. We have been providing these services. Over 500 health facilities are accredited to have been accredited before to NHIF. Fewer than that, but now with SHA we've had some growth, over 500 of them. But over the years we've been having challenges of delayed payments. They provide services, patients walk in, they walk out, we submit claims. They have been doing it to NHIF, and by the time the NHIF was closing down, they were owed over 6.8 billion.
So let's just talk about these 6.8 billion shillings, because we're talking about the NHIF that, as we speak right now, is defunct. Now we're using a new system that is SHA. Now, this 6.8 billion shillings has been paid.
No, since October, when NHIF closed at the beginning of October, there hasn't been any payment of that amount remitted to the hospitals. And that's why the crisis has continued to escalate. Because SHA services are being provided under social health insurance, and it's also behind in terms of payment. Since we started at the beginning of October to date, at most the amount of payment received is about 50%. So there's accumulation of unpaid bills. And these hospitals, health facilities depend on what they can raise from people receiving the services. Either they pay out of their pockets, or they have arrangements with the employers, or insurance schemes. So when we pay within a reasonable time, we expect payment to be received so they can be able to pay their workers and pay their supplies, the medicines, electricity, water, and other operational costs.
One would assume, Dr. that these conversations about healthcare, the transition from NHIF to SHA, is a conversation that had included each and every stakeholder in this, because now we're talking about SHA that is as well having its pending bills that have not been paid, yet NHIF still 6.8 billion shillings. While the government was coming up with the decision to transition, what was your engagement with them?
We have always had engagement with the Ministry of Health and its institutions, particularly the health financing institutions. We have had ongoing engagement with NHIF and also with the ministry as the UHC reforms were being developed. And we made various proposals, including what kind of packages should be provided and what is reasonable costing for them to enable us to sustain the services. And one of the requests that we are making is that we knew the greatest threat to the continuing assistance, continued sustainability of faith-based is the payment of claims that are not being sorted out. So one of our requests, even at the time of transition, is that the pending bills should be cleared to enable facilities have the capacity to roll out the new benefits under the new scheme properly. But unfortunately, although there were commitments being made, no payment has been received. We now hear a promise about facilities being owed up to 10 billion, they will receive payment, but to date, no payments have been received.
But actually, we talk about facilities that are owed 10 million shillings. And if I just look at this statement that you issued on the 6th of March 2025, giving 14-day notice, we talk about facilities that are owed 10 million shillings. But there are facilities that are owed hundreds and hundreds of millions. And this goes to the stress levels that then these facilities have, because some have gotten into debt. There are banks that are demanding their payments. We have staff that have to be paid. We have facilities that have to be repaired and taken care of. And now, when there is this conversation of those owed 10 million shillings are the only ones who will be paid, what about those that are equally offered services, perhaps even more services? At that point, you say you continue talking with the government. What exactly are they saying about this?
Well, we had an issue. We have an issue. The religious leaders, when they spoke about on the day immediately after, on the 6th, while appreciating the commitment expressed to pay those owed up to 10 million, we had a major issue with that because we have several faith-based hospitals which offer specialized services, including ICU services, dialysis, surgeries that are complex. We have some hospitals that are now leading in providing highly specialized services, including complex services like open heart surgery, neurosurgery, orthopedic surgery.
Does that, yeah.
In fact, Tenwek is leading this country in providing open heart surgery. And these are very expensive. What you need to put together to deliver a successful surgery for one patient is extremely expensive. So these hospitals turn in claims that are worth several millions in a month. And it's based on services they have provided. And equally, they have used a lot of supplies. They are very specialized health workers, and therefore their cost of providing services is high. So there should be a way of ensuring that they get a proportionate amount of payment. Otherwise, we risk losing some of our best hospitals that provide very needed critical services in this country.
Now, Dr. as we come to the close of this conversation now, at the heart of all this is the fact that if the government does not pay these funds by the 21st of March, the Mwananchi will be forced to pay from the pocket. And here we're talking about open heart surgeries. If you go to some hospitals have 15 theaters offering these services, what does this mean to the clients that you see on a daily basis, and what would be your recommendation to the government as the 21st day of March is not so far?
Yeah. So our appeal to the government is that the substantial payments should be made, and particularly payments that have been owed for a long time from NHI. Some of them date, way back 2017 and beyond. And if this is not paid, what the religious leaders expressed is that it's really a very last resort to save these hospitals from total collapse. And we are saying we are not stopping to provide services.
Yes.
What we'll have to do is to ask the clients, the patients who are coming, to pay their bills as they receive the services, as we wait for payments to start coming through from the insurance schemes. And it's not only NHIF or Social Health Authority, SHA. We also have been having similar challenges with the private one that is managed for teachers and the police and the prisons, where the administrator is MAKL. We also they have not paid hospitals bills since July last year, yes. 2024. So it's from the three major schemes that we are appealing for immediate substantial payment to enable the beneficiaries, people who are faithfully contributing their premiums, continue enjoying the quality services that
yes.
faith-based provide and continue to be very committed to provide.
Okay. Dr. Samuel Mwenda is the General Secretary, Christian Health Association of Kenya, and he says that if they are not paid by the 21st of March, that they will, their clients will be forced to pay from the pocket. But as well, Daktari, just even as we talk about that, any hopes that you'll be called to a meeting perhaps before then?
Well, we keep engaging. But at this point, what we need is not more discussion. What we need is payments to relieve the distress in the hospitals.
Yes.
So I appeal, please release payments to the hospitals and the health facilities of the FBO, and I know the private sector is in a similar situation, to enable them pay their obligations so they can continue motivating their health workers and receive such supplies, critical supplies that they need to continue providing quality services to the people of this nation.
Dr. And we hope that at the center of these are Kenyans who will be walking in to seek these services, and it is a clarion call to the government to come through and sit down with the faith-based healthcare workers and institutions to ensure that services continue to be given to Kenyans, as said best by Daktari, who continue to faithfully pay. This conversation definitely must continue. Asante sana, Daktari. But now, let's take a short commercial break. We'll be back with other stories making the headlines. We focus on sustainability of HIV prevention, treatment and care services after freezing of the US government funds.